Hello Pisces. This is going to be a reading for you for the month of December 2025. I don't usually do readings for Pisces. I'm going to do one for you right now. Five of Pentacles. Very interesting way to start off. There's something about this card actually that makes me think of Pisces. The designs on this to me resemble the double fish of Pisces, and fives do represent change. And so there's something here that's very Pisces. There's another Pisces card. That's very interesting. For those of you that don't know, the Hanged Man is the trump card for the water signs. It is the Pisces card. And like Pisces, which is associated with self-sacrificial behavior, with higher states of knowing, higher states of consciousness. He knows something and other people have yet to catch up with him. And so he pays the price for knowing something that other people don't want to hear. So the Pisces energy is definitely coming through. And then we've got Death. This is Scorpio, so that's another water sign. It's coming for you no matter what. Death can't be avoided. Death is a part of life. And so this change, whatever it is absolutely necessary for the next phase of your life to begin, but it's not going to feel good in the moment. There's something about the Hangman that I always think about, which is that he knows he has to hang. Death itself it's a card that I associate more with discomfort and the end of something that you really wanted. The Hangman is more willful, deliberate. It's kind of like, oh no, this is what has to be done and I'm gonna do it. There's something about it that's very beyond material. Yeah, and at the end here we have the Four of Chalices. And so right away, the fact that we've got the Five of Coins, which is all about the physical world, it's all about practical concerns, but in your personal spread, we've got this in the final position. This is where you're trying to get to, is you want something that's more emotionally fulfilling and emotionally stable, something where you have more security within, right? It's having money is not enough if you don't have inner peace. I mean, not everybody would say that. I know some Pisces that would not say that. So there's going to be some change in your life, something material, something tangible. Could be the loss of a job, could be a new job, could be money that comes in, could be money that goes out, could be you moving to a new place. Whatever this change is, maybe looks simple on the surface, but there are bigger changes that it brings than you realize at first. Life feels like it's struggling to restructure itself. Right? The coins are about the physical. It could be like learning about an illness that runs in your family, or it could be as simple as gaining weight, right? There's something material, there's something physical that calls your attention, and it kind of throws what you think is stable into question. Think along these terms of some sort of material change that makes you a little bit uneasy. It's not necessarily like things are going to go bad, but you're not sure which way they're going to go. And so maybe for a little bit you're hanging around, waiting to see how things work out. Ultimately, though, it looks like you might have to learn to let go of something. What are you holding on to that is actually holding you back? So like taking the analogy of a relationship that is financially secure, but there's no real love there. You know, are you holding on to some sort of insecurity about being unlovable, right? And so you're settling for this relationship because you feel you're not worthy of love anyway. So you'll settle for something financially stable. Now that's just an example, but you know, think about this kind of stuff. Is there something in your life that you're doing like this? And of course, death is something that you don't really have control over. When you think about this stuff, it's not to have control over things, but it's about relinquishing control. A lot of the fears that we have, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but for me, they manifest through this desire to control. Now for you, it might be different, but for me, when I'm scared of something, when something really terrifies me down to my soul, like I have a deep fear of abandonment, for instance, that turns into wanting to control things, right? I want to control my environment. So sometimes I don't let people in. I tend to emotionally shut everybody out because I am so scared that one day they will leave me. I'm just giving you an example. You might deal with your fears differently, but it's good to think about how do I deal with them and which one of those isn't working in my favor, which coping mechanism or which behavior is maybe working against me because things are changing and I might be feeling a little bit uneasy, a little bit scared, maybe a little bit nervous. Maybe I even make sacrifices that I don't need to make because I'm so scared. Maybe I sacrifice who I am to stay in this relationship. Maybe I sacrifice my time to be with these people that don't care about me because I want to be loved, because I want to be respected, because I want to be needed, whatever it might be, right? So think about those kinds of things because this death promises a rebirth, and that rebirth is not going to be pleasant. After all, death is Scorpio. It's about plunging to the depths. And you're not going to like what you find down there. You're going to have to face the shadow anyway. And so you might as well be conscious about it. You might as well be awake to it. You might as well do it deliberately. Nonetheless, at the end of this, there is greater emotional stability. This Four of Chalices is beautiful, actually. I always think about this sort of like a relationship that evolves, and the chalices are about relationships because chalices are about emotions, and our emotions find structure in our relationships. Just as you can pass, wine from one person to another by pouring it in a glass and passing it down the table, so too our relationships are like containers for our emotions. And so instead of being two different people in a relationship, in a real relationship, it's like you two are a body where these emotions are free to flow. The deepest emotions, the most profound emotions, the most intense emotional experiences that we can have is with other people. These two cards are kind of saying the same thing in different ways. Think of the Hangman, his head is upside down. You can also think of him as plunging down into the depths. Death is Scorpio, death is about plunging into the depths as well. And you can see in this card in particular, it looks like he's digging something up, like he's harvesting. But the card kind of directs your eye into the soil. Something old and buried is being pulled up, dragged up into the surface. So there is something very deep happening here for you, something very deeply emotional, something very deeply spiritual, and it's happening under the guise of this material change, or it's associated with some material change. And so it's funny, it's like there might be a very simple shift that on the outside doesn't really seem that deep, but inside for you is going to be very deep. And at the end of it, you're going to feel fine. You're going to be stable. And if you're in a relationship right now, that relationship is going to reach the next level. You're going to feel more comfortable in it. You're going to feel more positive about it. Or if it's not a relationship, you're going to feel more secure in yourself. What is the outcome for Pisces? Oh, beautiful. You've got the sun. As I was saying before, the Hanged Man is like you plummeting down into the world of Scorpio. And when you're down there, it's like you've got to do some work. Some old buried things in your soul, in your psyche. There are some deep things that have to be worked on. The end result of that is more stability for you. And the outcome card here reaffirms that. We've got the sun. It's a new day. You rise out of the darkness into the light of a new morning. Out of the land of Scorpio, out of the underworld, back into the daylight. This is a really auspicious ending. Really quickly, I want to ask, is there anything that Pisces needs to know about this? Is there a message? Is there something Pisces needs to know? And of course, we've got the Ace of Cups. The Ace is obviously the root, the fount of all of the chalices. It's the source. It's your feelings and your intuition that is guaranteeing you success. If some of you are spiritual, it's going to be your spirituality that gets you through this weird time. It's funny because the Ace of Chalices, it kind of looks like a cathedral. There's something about this that says your attention should be on the source of your comfort, and that for a lot of you it is spirituality. Okay, so here's what I see. There's an upheaval. There's a change, and it can range anywhere from, oh, this is surprising, to this is the worst thing possible for me right now. And sometimes it's the simple things. It's not the big things that happen in our lives. It's not the big disasters. Sometimes it's the small things, the small changes. Sometimes the changes that seem completely insignificant that inspire something in us to change. Every change has a potential to shift everything. Human beings, we're all about attention. It's about how we orient our attention. And you've got the Ace of Chalices here as a message for you, something to focus on. I see potentially some sort of shift from materialism to spirituality, or a crisis of faith, or a situation which seems so intractable that you can only navigate it with your intuition. And of course, you're the typical Pisces here. You are leaning heavy into that intuition, or into that spiritual practice, or into investigating your emotional world. But there's some type of heavy response in you. Something hits you that makes you realize, I don't want to say that there's like a flash of inspiration, but it's almost like you know intuitively what to do. In the face of this change, in the face of this upheaval, it's almost like, I have known this for a while. It's like you saw it coming, almost. And once you change, once you accept it, and just do the necessary thing, it's not going to be easy, but once you do it, you've got these beautiful Four of Chalices here. All of a sudden, the instability from before doesn't matter. And it's not even really that the instability goes away. You might have to be navigating this instability for a while. I don't see any indication here of it stopping. What does change is that internally, you are even. You are level. You seem to find something here. And I'm seeing something spiritual, especially with the Ace of Cups, right? Like some of you discovered some truth. Some of you achieved some type of awareness that is quite elevated. I mean, the Hanged Man is about enlightenment. It's like you had some sort of premonition. There might have been for you some sort of premonition about this event that's going to take place. So the enlightenment is like something that you already have with you. But this sun here at the end in the outcome position, it's about light being shed on something new. And it's also about new things growing. It's about some part of your life that was maybe kept dark that is going to be growing again. So I'm kind of seeing here like a reconnection with spirituality for a lot of you, or reconnection with your intuition or with your emotional or even imaginative side. Some of you might be getting back into art. Yeah, I can see that for some of you. I'm seeing this in a lot of spreads, is that people have been incredibly consumed by their finances. And in a lot of spreads, I'm seeing that change, where people's attention is being diverted from their finances into something deeper, into some desire for inner peace or inner stability. And I'm seeing that a little bit here too, or some type of like elevated consciousness kind of thing. I mean, with the sun, you know, that's more than a light bulb moment, right? And the sun, of course, is Leo. And so I am seeing a little bit of this artistic thing. Some of you might be getting back into some artistic projects, maybe something that you put aside because you were so involved in just trying to make ends meet, work, and then something happens to redirect your attention back to something deeper, something that fulfills you at a deeper level than whatever you were doing. All right, that is what I have for you, Pisces. I hope some of this resonated. If it did, please drop a comment, because I'm really curious to know what's going on in your lives. Because I'm seeing a lot of people moving from materialism to something else. And of course, if you got something out of this, please like the video, because that helps other people find it. They might get something out of it as well. All right, but it's very late, so it's time for me to go to bed. So until next time, Pisces.